All right, what's up, everyone? Today's video, we're gonna go over how I just passed a Apex evaluation account in one day, right? And there's two really big things that I've changed in the way that I day trade specifically over the past 2 years. Now, we're gonna go over all of that in today's video. There's really just two very simple things that I do, okay, is for futures, right? And talking about trading futures and Apex and Top Step, whatever funded type of accounts you guys want to look at. I really like using the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. So I've changed my candlesticks on one of my charts to the Heikin-Ashi. Number two is I stick to the same thing with the opening range strategy. The opening range strategy is going to provide you entries and exits every single day of every single week. Now, are you going to be able to capitalize every single day and every single week? No, right? But if you are someone who has enough time to be staring at the charts the whole day, you're going to find multiple trade entries, right? Like today, I had many trades, all right? We're going to go over all of the different entries and exits. But if you're someone that, can't trade all the time, we're going to break down how this is still a very good strategy for you and how there's multiple opportunities for you to make money doing this, right? And in one day, I was able to pass a PA account. This was on a 75K account. You need 4,250 profit. And that's on the net liquidity. So that's including, contract fees and everything. So we'll break down all of that in today's video. It's going to be a really great one, okay? I haven't really shown a lot of this stuff to people outside of the Discord, all right? We've got custom scripts in here, got custom indicators. Every single thing you're looking at on this chart is something that I have scripted up, all right? And so these aren't indicators that you'll normally be able to find on Thinkorswim, but we'll go over how I use it and why I use it. It's going to be a great video and you're going to want to watch to the end. Now, as always, the content provided on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only, and it's not intended to be relied upon as legal, financial, or investment advice. So be sure to read through the full disclaimer. And if you're new to the channel, I actually have a completely free newsletter for you guys. It's called Investment Intelligence, and I go over swing trade ideas. All right. I give out free, valuable finance and trading content, and I try to sprinkle in some trade ideas in there as well. I just posted one yesterday. All right. Now, I don't know when this video is going to be published, but there's a website associated with the newsletter. So you can always go to the website, check out the latest edition of the newsletter, or if it's something that you think is valuable and you want sent directly to you, you can sign up and have it sent directly to your email inbox. Now, you can also join the Investment Intelligence Trading Group, right? That's the Discord private trading group. And inside of there, I post 20 plus swing trade ideas every week. You get access to my custom scripts and indicators. Okay, so all of the stuff that we're going to go over in today's video is going to be available to you guys as a member of the Investment Intelligence Private Trading Group, right? You'll be able to click on a button, import it into your Thinkorswim, and have that stuff readily accessible. There's also exclusive intel such as unusual option activity, dark pool data, gamma levels, much more. And I've also got exclusive chart layouts that, again, because of Thinkorswim, you guys can simply click on a button and get access to many different exclusive chart layouts that I really use. Now, let's get into the juice of the video, okay? And, highlighted in yellow, we have a lot of the entries and exits for the trades today, okay? So let's talk about those, all right? Let's go over the beginning concepts, right? And kind of just break down, what it is that I look at when beginning, all right? And how I come to, my analysis, how I come to my conclusions for my different trades, and what am I doing exactly, right? Now you may notice on this chart, there's a lot of lines here drawn, right? And this may look like super complicated, like I have too much going on, like I have way too much going on. I haven't drawn a single thing on this chart. Everything on here is all of my different custom scripts and indicators. From the things you're seeing at the top here to these dotted lines to these right here, to this over here, to these, right? All of this charts it automatically. So if you're someone that is a beginner to charting and is new to this stuff and doesn't know how to do it on your own, I like was like, how can I help people more, right? I went ahead and just created it for you. So this way it does all of the hard work for you. And now you just have to pay attention and make a correct entry and make a correct exit. So let's break down what we're looking at. The dashed lines right here, the green and the red, this is your opening range, okay? The opening range, now some people use different time frames. Some people use the first 30 minutes, some people use the first 45 minutes, first hour. In my experience, I've really grown accustomed to using the first, 15 to maybe 30 minutes of the market being open. All right, using that as my opening range. So the green line to the top here, right, the dashed line, that represents the opening range high. The red dashed line here, this represents the opening range low. Typically, you look to short at the opening range high and long at the opening range low. Now, there's many other factors that go into it. We're not going to get too complicated here, but let's keep it simple, guys. All right. Now, I really like to wait about an hour to start making my trades. All right. And so we can see here, if we look at a time frame, the first entry for today was a long at the opening range low. All right. Now, remember, we are not using regular candlesticks here. We are using the Heiken Ashi candlesticks. So there is a difference. And these are really nice because they help weed out a lot of the noise and help you focus on the overall trend. Okay. Now this is a 1 minute chart here. So what do we see? Well, we come down and we tag this opening range low. I'm always looking to buy the opening range low, as a good risk to reward trade, especially in a bull market. Don't forget, at the time of this recording, we're still in a bull market. Now, the goal is to sell at the opening range high. So, you see here on SPY, it's 525.77. And then the opening range high is about $1 higher. So I do trade options as well. Okay. And if you're trading options and you're trading 0 DTE, 1 day to expiration, 2 day to expiration, these are very profitable trades, right? If you're coming in here and you're buying, let's say the 526 call options when they're out of the money, meaning that the price is lower than 526 and price comes up to 526.78. Well, now you went from being out of the money to being in the money 78 cents. And those call options are going to go up very, very nicely in value. Right? Oftentimes, anywhere from 20 to 100% is what I typically get when trading 0 DTEs. And today, those call options went up over 400%. But let's talk about futures, right? You guys are interested in futures and Apex trading and different things like that. All right. This will still pull up the exact same if you type in ES. Okay, if you use ES, it's going to give you the same exact levels using my custom scripts and indicators that automatically chart the opening range high and the opening range low. And so we bought the opening range low, sold the opening range high. Very, very simple. Now over here, actually sold the opening range high, shorting to the downside. Remember, typically I said this strategy, what I'm looking to do is buy the opening range low and sell the opening range high. So even though I took profit up here and sold at the opening range high, I'm now a seller again, but this time to open a position, not close a position. Now, the big question you may have is, well, why? Aren't you bullish? Right? Wouldn't this be, if you're asking yourself the question, why aren't you looking for a breakout retest push higher? Well, because of my cloud indicators that I've got here. And what am I seeing, right? I see we come down, we actually reject this level here. Okay, remember, this is a Heiken Ashi candlestick chart that I'm using on the 1 minute. And I see that we come here, that 1 minute candlestick closes exactly right here. The next one is a doji candlestick and our clouds here. Okay, you see these clouds that we have here and here all over the chart. They have now flipped red. All right. And so now I'm saying, well, not only did we reject here, so I can enter here, put a stop loss shortly above and target the opening range low. I'm also seeing that the Heiken Ashi candlestick formed a reversal candlestick, aka a doji. And then we see the clouds flip red here and we start trading underneath the clouds, tag the opening range low. So 2 trades right there, successful, right? Then what do? Well, I take a pretty risk on trade over here because we're underneath the opening range low. But what I'm seeing on the clouds is I'm seeing that the clouds are thinning here, and the clouds are potentially trying to flip green, right? We see that they go from red here, and then this is the area where I'm entering the trade. Shortly afterwards, they flip green, right? So I'm looking at these clouds, these custom cloud script indicators, and I'm saying, hey, well, these are starting to curl up here. And if the cloud can flip green, this is going to be a really nice trade back up to the opening range high, right? And using the Heiken hash sheet, what do we see, right? Well, we see our red candlestick here, and then what do we see? A black one. Now, black is, positive, or green, as most people would use them normally. And from there, we see green, 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 green. We see nothing but green. Retest the opening range low, right? So we reclaim it, right, is what you would call it. Oftentimes in the Discord, you'll see me posting like, hey, there's a potential setup here below the opening range low. If we can reclaim the opening range low and push higher, you're going to look for a retest of the opening range high, and you can take profit. And again, that's a very profitable trade right here, right? We're below 526. We're at 525.25 on the SPY. And if you're trading call options, not just futures, if you're trading call options, this is a 2-point move, right? Almost. This is a very nice move. And so if you're buying the 526 call options, and if we go from, 525.25 all the way up to 526.78, your call options most likely more than doubled, right? If not potentially tripled. So really nice trade entry here. We come up again, we're at the opening range high, and we take a look at our RSI and look how extremely overbought it is, right? So you really have no problem taking profit and feeling greedy, right? Like the worst thing you can do is be greedy. And so we come up, right? We get an extremely nice trade. We're extremely overbought. Why would you not want to sell here? Okay. Or at least adjust your stop loss much higher, right? And, so I'm looking at this and I'm saying, well, given how overbought we are, I'm actually looking to reverse this trade here if we can get some red candlesticks. So we take profit at the opening range high. We actually start a new position because, again, using the Heiken Ashton candlesticks, it weeds out a lot of the noise. Okay. And so you're looking at the average price of these candles. And we see a red one here. Now we're taking that short. And again, we're targeting the opening range low. And what do? We move down. We reject the weekly anchored VWAP, which Thinkorswim does not have anchored VWAPs normally. But again, I have custom scripts that will give you guys an anchored VWAP, right? And so I have the weekly anchored VWAP here in orange. And what do? We come up, reject the anchored VWAP, and we form a nice ABC structure to the downside. Now, I know from experience that markets tend to move in 3-wave and 5-wave structures. A 3-wave structure often comes in the form of an A, B, C, right? A, B, C. So I see that ABC structure there. And now, again, this is just another reason why I'm, selling the opening range high, because we bought down here, targeting the opening range low. Okay, as a take profit zone to buy to close these short positions. But I'm also looking, hey, if these candlesticks can turn black here, okay, basically positive, I'm really not too against opening longs here because we have an ABC correction, right? And I know that after an ABC, you typically will see a very strong 5-wave structure. Well, what do you see afterwards, guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Wave 3 is always going to be the most impulsive and strongest wave out of all of them. Now, I know this, but I didn't trade this perfectly. Again, it's not about being a perfect trader. It's about day in and day out, you guys can have a specific structure to trade. And that's exactly what I'm looking at here. And that's exactly what I'm pointing out to you guys, right? So we reverse the trade from short to long here. Take the longs. Again, we sell at the opening range high. And now I'm saying, hey, well, we've been testing this opening range high here so many times. If we can finally break out, I'm looking for a retest of the previous day's opening range. And that's what these lines are up here. Again, the candles, the custom script indicators, they chart it for you. So they give you these levels for you, right? And so not only do we have a gap to fill, all right, this is another custom script that we have, all right, where you can see the previous day gap, But we're also looking to target, the previous day's opening range, because we know that we've been consolidating here. We, been trying to break out. If we can really break out, there's lots of room to run here. And so, I'm coming here and I'm saying, all right, well, we just retested the weekly anchored VWAP, right? If we break below the intraday anchored VWAP, I'll use that as a stop loss, but I want to target the gap fill to the upside, right? So if you look at that and we're to just draw this from a risk to reward, right? So we're risking about this much to potentially make this much, right? From this point in here. So look at your risk to reward, right? It's very skewed in your favor, right? You're only risking this much to potentially make this much. And that's exactly what happened today, right? Now, again, it's not always going to work out perfectly, and you're not always going to be a perfect trader, right? A perfect trader would have sold exactly at the top up here. I didn't do that. I sold over here, right? It's, when it comes to these future accounts and trading funded accounts and prop firms and different things like that, you really have to be very disciplined, right? And most of the time, about, 75% of the time, you honestly want to have, if not more, you want to have your stop loss and your take profit orders already in. You need to have those already in, because a lot of these prop firms, sometimes they don't want to, guarantee your payouts, right? Because, maybe you're not following their rules, or maybe some prop firms are stricter than others, different things like that. Okay. You want to be cautious of that. You want to be a very rules-based trader and have your targets and have your levels. Right now, again, what did we do? Look at that. We came up, filled the gap, hit the previous day opening range high indicator, came down, consolidated between the previous day opening range high, opening range low indicators, and ultimately we had a huge drop. Look at where we found support. We found support at the opening range high, at the weekly anchored VWAP, and at the intraday anchored VWAP. Guys, I haven't drawn a single thing on this chart. You're literally just looking at a chart that has my custom scripts and indicators on it. Look at how well and precise these levels are, guys. I'm telling you, if you're a beginner, you really want to join the Discord, you really want to get access to these custom scripts and indicators, and ask questions. If you don't know how to use them, let me know. I'll try to explain it briefly. If you're super confused, you can always book a coaching session. With this strategy, right? I took a few trades today, right? A handful of trades. Was able to pass a 75K evaluation account in one day. On Apex, right now, they currently have a sale going on where they have 1 day pass to evals for the eval accounts. And it's not like I was going all in, right? And buying 10 ES contracts, right? I wasn't buying 10 contracts to trade or anything crazy. It was just, a handful of select good trades, and I didn't take any losses today. All right. Now, that's not normal. You will take losses some days, but didn't take any losses today and was able to pass an eval account in 1 day, right? And if you think about it from the same perspective and you're looking to get a payout from a lot of these funded prop firms and different funded accounts and things like that, well, in 1 day you could have hit your profit goal, and then from there you can be a lot of times there's still certain requirements, right? Like maybe you have to make a certain amount of trades, or you have to trade every single day, etc. But it takes a lot of the pressure off of you from being over aggressive and really trying to make up for losses, because that's the biggest mistake people do, is when they are trading prop firms or just trading in general, if they're down, they really try to make up those losses, because they're like, oh, well, it's not my money, right? It's a funded account, so I'm only paying a monthly fee or a membership fee or yada, yada, yada. And they'll lose more money doing that than they would if they were just trading disciplined on their own actual money. People don't realize that. So hopefully today's video is good. Hopefully today's video explained a lot. We're using the Heiken Ashi candlesticks. We're using my custom cloud indicator script. We're using the VWAP. We're using the anchored VWAP, specifically in today's video, the weekly anchored VWAP. We're using the opening range high, opening range low indicators, previous day opening range high, opening range low indicators. And we're also using the auto gap fill indicator, right? Indicated by over here, where we have a gap down, and this is letting us know that this is a gap to fill. We came very close to filling it, and then you can see when we ended up filling the rest of the gap and tagging the previous day opening range. And then we've also got the RSI in here. Okay, now the RSI is not the best day trading indicator, but it's just something that I think can be useful. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Well, take a look here. Very overbought, and we're at a logical place where it makes sense for us to see a little bit of selling, right? From the below the opening range low to above the opening range high. This is a good move. And if there's anybody that bought below this opening range low that are day traders like myself, there's a very good chance that a lot of them are taking profit up here, right? You take a look over here. What do we have? We have the break retest of the weekly anchored VWAP, right? Or you could just say we held above the opening range highs and we continued higher. We came over, tested the previous day opening range levels, right? Again, a logical place for people to take profit. And you can see we're also extremely overbought here as well. Then what do you see? Big sell-off, right? Come back, retest the opening range high, retest the weekly anchored VWAP, retest the intraday VWAP, and we're also extremely oversold, and you see a strong bounce, okay? So using a lot of these things together will really give you guys an advantage, but it's all about perspective, it's all about understanding, it's all about patience and discipline. These are tough things to learn. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But what makes it easier is having a strategy and knowing what levels you're targeting. And if you're a beginner and you struggle with this, with trying to figure out where should I buy, where should I sell at, using my custom scripts and indicators, you guys will have the hard work done for you. Okay. And the levels are going to be there. It's up to you to make the right decisions and the right choices, but now you have an area where you know where you want to long potentially, you know where you want to short potentially, and you can use those cloud indicators there to really help give you extra context and clues, along with the weekly anchored VWAP and the intraday VWAP and many different things. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. All right, if you did, sign up using my link in the description below for Apex. All right, using that link, you guys will get a discount and you'll be able to start trading your own prop firm accounts, your own funded accounts. The only reason I really like Apex, and I'll be honest, is because you can have up to 20 accounts. Now, what I've noticed, the more money you're making with Apex, the stricter they want to be about your payouts. That's why you guys have to have specific strategies. Okay, you have to focus in on what you're doing, right? You can't just, oh, I'm gonna buy, one contract here, and if it goes down 5 points, I'm gonna buy 5 more contracts, and if it goes down 5 points from there, I'm gonna buy 10 more contracts, right? And just use it like some fake money. You have to have an actual strategy, and this is one of the most consistent and most actionable strategies is trading the opening range. It's not something new. I didn't invent the opening range. All I did was create a very simple script and indicator for the opening range to chart it automatically. And then you combine that with some other indicators, right? We're using the clouds here. We're using the VWAPs, right? We're using the RSI a little bit. We're using the previous day opening range. And doing that is going to give us the extra context and confluence and confidence that we need to enter our trades with confidence and exit our trades with confidence and ultimately get a funded account within a day. And from there, it's all about your payouts, right? That's the next most important step. And if you're someone that doesn't have a consistent strategy, some of these prop firms may deny you a payout because they're looking at your trading history and they're looking at your trading portfolio. And they're saying this guy just guesses at everything he does. And this is not someone that we want to pay out or encourage to continue to trade our money. We want people who have a defined system. This is a system that's easily defined and well recognizable. And especially when you turn on the Heiken Ashing candlesticks, it really helps you weed out a lot of the noise and stay focused on the primary trend. Thanks for watching. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel for more, join the private Discord trading group using the link in the description below, and sign up for Apex using the link in the description below as well.